All right, everybody, it is Cinephile Mike, your friendly neighborhood cinephile, here with day 49 of Award Season Review Season 2, and happy Oscar nomination day. Or is it happy nomination day? I don't know. There were some good surprises. Yay, America Ferrara! Some expectations were met. Hey, Oppenheimer, you got a bunch of nods. Hey, Poor Things, you got a bunch of nods. Good films. Then there were the snubs and some major ones this year. I mean, Saltburn, All of Us Strangers, Greta Gerwig. What happened? Ugh. Some films, it seems, they kind of ran out of steam, and some have been popping up at the last minute. So I had a theme for this week, but I realized, you know what? I have a lot of feelings on this, as I'm sure a lot of you do as well. So maybe we take a break from proper award season fare and take a look at those that received some Razzie love. Celebrating the best of what people felt was the worst. Not that I always agree with these, and there have been Razzie nominated films in the past that I said, why? Not worth it, and others that didn't make the cut, and I wonder, where were they? So, sometimes these are the guilty pleasure films, so let's take our minds off the Oscars with a little lightheartedness. First up, Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, this film, many have argued, is the kind of final nail in the coffin of the MCU's downfall. And sadly, of the Ant-Man trilogy, it actually had the worst box office take. However, it isn't fully numbers to cry at. Now, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, written by Jeff Loveness and directed by previous two Ant-Man film helmer Peyton Reed, according to Box Office Mojo, had the 11th highest box office take at the worldwide box office in 2023, just missing a top 10 spot by about $20 million to Disney's Elemental, so same film studio. At the end of its run, Ant-Man had taken in $476,071,180 worldwide, with a domestic box office take of $214,504,909, and the remaining $261,566,271 coming from the international box office. Now, award season wise, in the Razzies, this film received 4 nominations. 2 for Worst Supporting Actor, 1 for Michael Douglas, returning as Dr. Hank Pym, and the other a nod for Bill Murray as Lord Krylar, also known as Janet Van Dyne's ex. 1 for Peyton Reed for Worst Director, and 1 nomination for Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel. Now, the film was not shortlisted for visual effects at the Oscars or the BAFTAs, which might have been the only film, that could go for this, but it was bested and probably backed by the superior efforts of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which scored nods for both the BAFTA and the Oscar for visual effects. Now, a brief review and summary for anyone that may have missed Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is the third part of the story of Scott Lang, our always lovable and non-aging Paul Rudd. After being one of the heroes who helped to reverse the snap at the end of Avengers Endgame, Scott has become a celebrated memoirist with his book Look Out for the Little Guy, which, if you'd like to read, you can pick up at your local bookstore or on Amazon. Hey, media tie-in! Enjoying his life with Hope, still played by Evangeline Lilly, and trying to rebuild a more stressed post-blip life with his daughter Cassie, now played by Catherine Newton. Sorry, Emma Furman, you had your 5 minutes of fame in Endgame. Who has, become an activist for rebuilding the world after the blip and has begun to explore the world and all things quantum. If you have a nickel for every time you hear the word quantum in this film, you could probably retire. Sorry. She has begun to explore this with her adoptive grandparents, Hank, played by nominee Michael Douglas, and Janet, played by national treasure Michelle Pfeiffer. Yes, Razzie Reviews, I'm going to be a little bit more biased in my reviews. Now, early in the film, Cassie demonstrates that she has found a way to enter the quantum realm, that place where we spent the last film trying to free Janet from. And as this experiment, goes slightly what they feel awry, all 5 of them are sucked into the quantum realm and need to escape. However, they are separated in the quantum realm and need to come together before that happens and we see if they escape, they will have to fight Kang, the Conqueror, played by the now unemployed by Marvel, Jonathan Majors. Now, we learned that Kang had arrived in the quantum realm and had once worked with Janet since, but since she left, he has now become the ruler of the quantum realm and is at odds with those that are trying to fight him and his goals of leaving the quantum realm to rule the multiverse. And herein sets up our hero and battles. That's a gist. There are more factors that play in, but that's your overview. Can they stop Kang from being released? Well, this film was set to, set up the whole new Avengers phase, but given the film's reception, what happened in the press with Jonathan Majors, it seems that they're shifting focus. So who knows? Now, as for the Razzie nominations it received, personally, I feel the only one that it was worth getting was the worst prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel. I mean, it's not, in my mind, the worst film Marvel's put out in this MCU, but it wasn't great, and it was the weakest of the three. If there were a Razzie also for worst special effects, I would have probably put it there because sadly, some of the effects were laughably bad. I mean, there were so many missed opportunities with what you could do with the quantum realm, especially the way they'd been building it up. I kind of feel they kind of put most of the effort behind some cheap jokes that I won't I won't reference, in case anyone's still out there to watch it and is an MCU completist. I don't think Reed's nomination is warranted. I feel at this point, Marvel, and it's been said, kind of controls the directors, and so they're not always allotted their full vision. So you don't know if this is really testament to him or what Marvel did of the greater machine. And also the script on this, it's his first feature film, and this is a big undertaking. For your first feature film to set off a whole new phase, when your background is award shows and TV. I'm not diminishing that. That's great, but it didn't really translate into features. So that said, I mean, Douglas and Murray should be left alone. They did the best they could with what they were provided. So after that, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, for me, 2 stars. Really, one for the premise of what it was trying to do, but I have to give one because despite the script problems and the flow, Paul Rudd, Michelle Pfeiffer, always game, and they kind of make the film enjoyable to watch. I was happy to see Michelle Pfeiffer have a chance to get some action in. All right, so we will continue distracting ourselves with the Oscar snubs with some more Razzies this week. And hey, some lightheartedness is always welcome, right? I will be sharing some bonus videos coming up soon about the nominations and the snubs, and I will be sharing some views on what my predictions are and sharing those thoughts if you want to use those for your Oscar pools. As always, if you like what you heard here, please subscribe, like the channel, spread the word. Follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms. Compare movies with me on Letterboxd. See everyone tomorrow as we continue our journey to the Oscars. And until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break.